Yes, I plan on using the video, but if you don't want me to,
Okay.
I don't have to use it.
No, no, I just thought I would do something about this piece of hair. It's, there we
I think
go.
it's a good piece of hair. I think it makes you even look even more beautiful.
It's doing well. I have the zoom set up almost to where it would remove my nose. That it's like the filter
The
on it. I'm
filter.
like, I haven't aged at all. It's amazing. I'm a baby. Anyway,
The smoothest skin in the world.
smoothest. I can even put makeup on with the app.
Oh,
But you
wow.
know how you can do the eyebrows and the lips? Have you
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
that? Yeah, yeah. It's fine. It seems like a lot of work, so I'm not going to do it.
I don't know why
Just
people would want that. I just learned that there are surgeries for people in Asian countries to open up the eyelids a little bit more.
yeah. Yeah, that's been around. Yeah, there's trouble there, obviously. I mean, I have some self-esteem issues, but it's boo. Yeah, boo
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Anyway.
definitely.
Cool. I forget what we're doing.
No worries. Yeah, we're
Besides, yeah.
well. Listen, I've seen you on. I'm a huge fan of Never Not Funny. I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
you on that podcast so many times. I know you from your stand up as well as the podcast you do with Lori.
With Lori.
So yeah, it's just you sit down, have a conversation about your current project or the state of the world or whatever. Then we'll move on. You'll forget about this. I'll put it out tomorrow.
Well, I look forward to all of that happening. Are we is it happening right now? Or
It
because
is
I know we're
happening right
recording.
now.
We're recording right now. It's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yesterday I did a podcast where there was some fun making of Laurie Kilmartin's audio
mhm.
quality, and I jumped right in on that bandwagon. And then that was the clip that they released today, and I was like, no, no, I'm willing to make fun of Laurie to her face, and then I'm willing to make fun of Laurie behind her back, but then tell her about it. But this sort of sucker punch isn't anything anybody's. You could take that down.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I tried as a joke. I spoke to a Jimmy Kimmel writer recently, and I tried to get him to talk about Jimmy Kimmel just like as a joke, and he was like, "Hey man, that guy's great," and I was like, "Yeah, he is great." And it was just and that was the exact clip I used to make myself look like the fool.
right. Well, I mean, because you're just like, yeah, and I don't want to be, I'm no hero, but I don't want to be a coward about it. If I'm gonna, I have mocked her openly about any number, and she me. Let that just be said.
Yes.
Lori does not pull a punch. A punchline will not be pulled. So, new
How long have
episode
you two
tomorrow.
known each other?
10 and a half years.
Oh
We've been
wow.
doing the podcast for 10 years. So uh, probably cumulative 6 months prior to that. Like
Oh
when
my
she
God.
approached me and said, "Do you want to do a podcast?" I was like, "I have a podcast, The Dork Forest. I've done it for 10 years." And she's like, "In other news, what about a podcast about stand up comedy?" And I was like, "I would talk to you about stand up comedy. I mean, like, there's not too many. I mean, I would talk to anybody. That's not true. I would talk at anyone about
Right.
stand up comedy. To listen to someone talk about stand up comedy, it would have to be her. It would have to be someone or someone else. And there are hundreds of comics that I respect. But
Mhm.
I was definitely like, oh, yes, I would do that podcast with you. But we had not really known each other before then.
Yeah, I did, but I think stand up, especially as much as you and Lori do it, is you can mine so much from that because look at the state of the world now. There are so many comedians either choosing one side or another side, or even some playing up the middle just to find what's funny or what's not funny or what's exasperating. Like even when I was watching Altercation, the way you talk about what's going on now, you did sound like you had to force the words out because it was just so tiring and you're already
It's
tired of talking about it.
exhausting. I'm exhausted to just try to, I don't, I don't know that I've realized, how you know the fishbowl that you're in,
Mhm.
right? You know the water that you're in, you know how to navigate it. And I have lived, I'm 100 years old, right? So I have lived as a woman forever.
Hmm.
And but I've also lived as a white woman forever. And so there are things that I avoid because I am a woman, and there are things that I get because I am a white woman. And I don't to be this exhausted all the time. I have not yet gotten used to it, to live in, like my sister and I were talking about, because we could get dual citizenship in Armenia
Okay.
because we are Armenian and we've been baptized in the Armenian church, and you can get secondary citizenship if you have been baptized. And the Armenian government is not, it is very totalitarian. It is very
Mhm.
much. And I was like, and I was telling her that to some extent, I prefer a dictatorship that already exists because I know what all the rules are. The
Right.
forming of a dictatorship, oh my gosh, uh, I don't know. What am I supposed to not do? And
Right.
how do I help or hide people or what? In a true dictatorship, you know how to hide people. You know how to aid the less privileged. You know how to use your powers for good or for evil,
Mhm.
because you grew up in it.
Yeah.
You know that fishbowl. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot like I'm think when you mention it like that, like knowing the evil that is ahead of you versus not knowing, it makes me think of, the Underground Railroad or the start of like Nazis and like just like, hey, we're gonna send these people who worship something else to a camp, to a set of camps, or we're gonna enslave
Right.
these people. And at
Right.
that time, yeah, they didn't know either. They're like, wow, like what's going, like people just, and then people were born in it. And now imagine being born in this and in 18 years when they're adults and they can vote, hopefully that voting is still around, then who knows where is the world going to be, or where's the United States going to be even at that point?
Right. You can't know. And you here's what I do know, because I do love history so.
Mm,
And I can even, I know this makes me a real adult. I can even hear the bad parts of history. It's okay.
yeah.
But what I like about history is you see people that have been in this situation before. And you see people, you see that, like, I can even see the difference in rights and discussion of rights, and uh, the rights that they're trying to take away because they came too fast for the bad guys or whatever, where you realize that civilization has been inexorable, you
Mhm.
know, and the horrible things that are happening and the horrible things that have always happened. Um, the world or the universe or God or whoever you believe in will make some sort of lemonade out of it. Like a
Right.
beautiful thing will come out of the horrible. But it's not the beautiful thing that, let's say, the earth was planning for us to have, right?
Exactly.
We were all planning on just sort of getting along and, figuring out how to get less microplastics into us. Um, because we didn't realize that we were going to be having babies with microplastics in them.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, shoot, we got to course correct. And we were going to work on that. But now we have to work on the fact that uh, somebody who has been in this country for 20 years and is going through the process to be an immigrant is going to be stolen away and stuck in some camp to become a slave.
Hmm.
And it's not okay. But what I do try to remind myself is that there will be an other side,
Yeah.
and that we will learn that we have always lived with slavery, and that we
Hmm.
have always lived with this sort of nonsense. I like to call it nonsense, so I can sleep at night. I don't know. So what I mean, I'm just, I just don't know how to fix it in the moment. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
So all I can do is make fun of it for the first 10 minutes of the album, of the new special, and then allude to it later 2 or 3 times,
Right.
but then mostly talk about my family and driving and my husband. And then some dick jokes right there at the end. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want
We
an occasional sex joke?
Exactly. We all love dick jokes. But I think it is important though that, yeah, I sometimes I'll watch a special or listen to an album and hear it and I know the exact time period it's in. And Sometimes it's a detriment, and right now, I don't think for this current record, it's not going to be a detriment because it's we've been in this for Trump was elected
Six.
three times in my book, but twice, no, I'm kidding. But
No,
remember, Biden stole that election.
I keep forgetting. It's there's some conspiracies I'm willing to believe, and then because I don't believe. Do you ever heard Ron Funch's joke about conspiracy theories?
No.
He does a great bit about how if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, I get it. Uh, nobody should believe all of them, but you don't believe any of them. What are you? You think that the government and the billionaires have been completely honest with you the whole time? And then he has a couple more punchlines, you guys, making
Yeah.
it even funnier. Anyway, ronfunches.com. Knock yourselves out. Okay. Uh,
Don't worry, I spoke to Ron years ago. It was a wonderful chat, nice and quick. It was very
oh,
funny.
good. Good egg.
Now, tell me a little bit more about Altercation. This one has two directors on it. I think it looks fabulous, and it's very simple, and it looks great
Oh, thank
because
you.
now we're coming out with all these different specials that are shot in stadiums, and there's all these different camera movements. For you, it's like three cameras set up. One
Yeah.
main one that moves with you on stage, and then another
Right.
couple that are pointing at the audience. And I love it. I love the intimate feel of it. And I
Oh,
love that
I
you're right there with
appreciate
the audience.
that. Because I was hoping for a Zoom camera. I wanted there to be, I've never done a show where there's been one of those bots or
Yeah.
drones that just comes at you from and it looks like it's coming from half a football field away. Yeah. So I'm glad you enjoyed the intimacy of this because it is, I thought about it and I was like, people are going to watch it. I hope they enjoy it. Obviously, they're going to listen to it because there's different ways of consuming stand up comedy.
Hmm.
As Emo Phillips has a great joke about the best way is live. I will let you find that joke anyway, because the punchline is so perfect that I don't want to mess it up. It's his joke.
Right.
So, but live is the best way to go, and then audio, just audio, no video.
Hmm.
That's better, I think, than a special.
Yeah.
And then the video with the audio together. That is also a good way. Least favorite way of seeing stand up comedy is when it's in an episode of Law and Order, and there's been some sort of crime that's happened around the stand up comedy plot.
Mhm.
So that's not the way to see stand up. But yeah, it's just three cameras, and it's and in Portland, Oregon. I usually I've done every other album. I have five or six other albums. I've done them all in Minneapolis at my home club at Acme Comedy Company. But because we were shooting again, there's not a lot of ways to change up that room. So to sort of make it look a little bit different. And this one, I was like, it'll be just sort of a smaller vibe to it, a more rustic, more intimate kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I say the word rustic because I dressed myself, you guys. I did hire a stylist, and then she got a conflict, and then I didn't hire a different stylist, and I was like, I'll just be fine. I'll just wear my American Chavez jacket and a T-shirt, and that's what happened. And a pair of pants from Wild Fang. So it was all good. I
And
think I wore my.
do you have codes with them? Do we get 10% off if we
Oh
put in your
no,
name?
no! I probably should have. I probably should have done that.
Yeah.
No, just if anybody wants to know where I got that jacket, it's a Marvel character named America Chavez. She was in the Doctor Strange movie,
Hmm.
which was really the Scarlet Witch movie, which was really the America Chavez movie. Anyway, I think it might have been even the Ms. Marvel movie.
No, I don't think Ms.
Nope,
Marvel was in that one.
no, Ms. Marvel was in the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And that was Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel and America Chavez, I think. No, no, it was
Who's the black
the
woman?
yeah, it was the black woman whose code name is forgotten it. Anyway, oh, this is a Marvel fail. And I am dipped, my friends. So, but it was that I like that Captain Marvel movie a great deal. Anyway,
Charlize Theron was in that Doctor Strange movie, I remember, at the very end.
was she?
She
What was
remember
she?
she was in that tag. She's like, "You got to come with us,
Oh,
Doctor Strange," and they never did anything with
oh,
that.
yeah. I know it was there was a switch of leadership over at Disney, and so Paul Feige, I know he wants it's is it Feige or Feige? Who cares?
Yeah.
We don't know each other, Paul. I'm so sorry. I would love to actually know you, but the your work is wonderful. But I think he's being stalled at 30 movies
Mhm.
and 27 TV shows and cartoons. I'm so sorry for your career, though. Did you see the new Wonder Man?
No, I've not
Oh.
seen I have not seen a lot of Marvel products or
Mm-hmm.
actually superhero products, but I'm because I'm very picky and choosy, but I know
Mm.
that Wonder Man is very down to earth and I do
Oh,
love
it's
everybody involved.
super LA meta because it's with Ben Kingsley, who was in Iron Man 2 and he played a terrorist called the Mandarin.
Mhm.
And is this what we want to spend? I do. I have a podcast called The Dork Forest. Anyway, so, but the Mandarin, he was actually an actor who had been hired to play
Mhm.
a terrorist. So in
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, the actual Mandarin, or the Ten Rings, who in the comics is sometimes called the Mandarin, kidnaps Trevor, and to tell him that it's not okay to pretend to be him. Anyway, and he's in Wonder Man, and Ben Kingsley, as we all know, is a really good actor,
Yes.
and so he's chewing up the scenery. But the guy who plays Wonder Man is hitting like they're like they're working so well together.
Really?
Yeah, it's really an extraordinary. The acting in it is so good. And there's a great comic named Byron Bowers
Uh-huh.
who plays Doorman, who is a comic deep in the long boxes, my friends.
Mhm.
Anyway,
We love it.
he's in a he's got an episode that, and he's a comic, but he's also an actor, and he chews up the scene. It's just there's some good work being done. Wonder Man, thank you very much. Okay.
I believe I read a piece in the Hollywood Reporter, the trade somewhere, about that single episode, and I thought it was very cool. It did entice me to want to watch that show.
Yeah, even that episode, because it's bookended
Okay,
and we learn about that character, so it could stand alone. It could be a one shot easily
really.
because it's pretty great. It's really great.
I'm always, my favorite, one of my favorite cartoons. I'm sorry, my dog is barking.
Hi, buddy.
Is the Justice League cartoons, like Justice League Unlimited and the other
Oh,
one.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I watch those all the time, constantly.
Now, are those my DC knowledge is shallow. So,
Mhm.
what are those new, or are those from like the 90s, early 2000s?
Those are from the 2000s, like 2001 to 2005, I think. And
Okay.
it's like 50 or 60 some odd episodes, and they
Wow.
tell great story arcs. And if you like if you continue to like those, then you'll also like the Batman the animated series and Superman the animated series
I
and
watched
Static
those two.
Shock.
I have.
Okay.
Oh, I've not seen Static Shock.
Yeah,
Okay.
they all tie in together. Like all of those shows plus Batman Beyond, they all come in together and it's all just wonderful work.
That's great. The last DC thing I watched, I think, was the Harley Quinn, which is probably 4 years ago,
Mhm.
and James Adomian plays Bane,
Yes.
and it is awesome. Anyway, so it's a delight, the Harley Quinn
Would you ever
cartoon.
do a superhero project since you know like so much about it? Like what would you want to do? Would you want to be a
Yes,
sidekick, a hero? Would you want to be just like a face that pops up?
I would. I have often said there's a deep cut. Uh, there's Modoc,
Yes.
machine, the mechanized organism designed only for killing.
Yeah,
There is Patton Oswalt got to play that in
he
an
did.
animated one. There is a side character that was in a Howard the Duck arc that I read
Okay.
called Modot, and it's mechanized organism designed only for talking, and it's supervillain who like has all of the talk shows of the talking heads on their, and is the one who puppeteers all of the different talking heads.
Okay.
So I would play Modot. I would like that. I wouldn't mind being the night nurse, even though Rosie Perez did. I think it was Rosie Perez in the Daredevil TV show. She did that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I would love to do, quite honestly, anything.
Mhm.
The Great Lakes Avengers. I like some weird there's an Avengers team that is absolutely never mentioned
Hmm.
and isn't even, I don't believe, in canon. The most famous member of the Great Lakes Avengers has got to be Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel, yeah, and she talks to squirrels.
Yes.
And but there's like Flatman and Mr. Immortal, and there's Big Bertha, who is a supermodel, but then becomes a very large person. And I mean, it was the 70s, so they were just doing fat jokes, which is, you could write around it. You could fix that. We could
Yeah.
fix that. Anyway, but I would be anything. I would be Cosmo the dog. I would love to be in any Marvel project forever. I actually auditioned for a part in Wonder Man and did not get it. But I'm available, is what I'm saying.
Kevin's a huge fan of this of me. He's been with me 13 years ago. That's when he started coming on. So
Oh, seriously. I'm on board. Good to know. All right. I like it.
now
The
I got
what
I,
ifs. I would love to be on the what if. Anyway, next. I have a new album out, you guys. New
mhm,
special. It's
mhm.
called Alter-Kashian. Let's get
Right,
back
right,
to
right.
it. So sorry.
This reminds me. I saw a headline yesterday. I did not read anything about it, but you know how like Hulu's Paradise is coming back and The Pit is here, but they all have podcasts. All these shows have podcasts, and I think a great
Right.
entrance into that would be like if Disney Plus launched some sort of like video podcast, I guess, whatever, with their Marvel properties. And I think that you would be a great entry point into that and as a good host because that's the next big thing. And I think on Hulu they just added Jake Johnson's podcast.
Oh
So you can
wow.
watch the
Yeah,
video
yeah.
version of that. So that I think, look, hey, listen, that's
There's
a
work.
great
There's
pitch.
work available. Yes, and I know that there are, of course, Marvel podcasts. But again, I am available where anyone do want to do this. The Dork Forest has a probably there's 1,000 episodes of the Dork Forest,
Hmm.
20 years.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to listen to anything, but this week's episode is actually about embroidery, and last week's episode was, I think, oh, it was about Gilmore Girls, but like it can be about anything. I had the last episode that I did was Guar. I don't know
Mhm.
if you know the band Guar.
The metal
Uh,
band, right?
it's a metal band, and they
Yeah.
wear giant hats.
Right.
And
Big mass.
the one thing I learned about them was that they sometimes, without the masks on, will open for themselves.
Wow. And so will they play like a different genre of music
Yes,
or
or
okay.
just a different set.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's a way to get two checks.
That is a way to get two checks.
And you don't have to reset up the stage because it's your instruments.
I see. Now that's something that if I were you, if I was a comedian in that spot, I would come out with the mask on and start doing, jokes in the style of John Mulaney, or start doing
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
like completely who does like not he's not even in your genre of stand up, like Carrot Top or Gallagher.
Right, right. You'd have to pick a different genre than you'd be like all one-liners. And then all of a sudden, and now Jackie Cation. And I would come out and I would do storytelling with punchlines.
Yes.
So that's essentially what I do. So,
And I think I think it fits for you perfectly. As I was watching this current hour is just, and I pointed this way because I have a giant screen and that's where the window is. Um,
okay.
I just wanted you to know so that I wasn't just pointing off
right,
screen.
right.
Uh, now the reason I say is because I watched a lot of it and it's all fantastic, especially that
Oh, thank you.
story, about how you threw your first punch, hitting another human being and
Oh, was that the when I tried to be a bully when I was
uh,
8?
yeah, 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 and then like the beer mug,
That the successful punch.
the successful.
Yes, and yeah, it's got a D&D twist on it, and
Mhm.
it's got a terrible life choices, and then we didn't end up dating because it turns out it wasn't a movie. So yeah, that's a hell of a story. Every There are so many people in the world who have never punched anyone.
Mhm.
And in many cases, they weren't hit as children, so they didn't know that hitting was an option. And then there's also an age break where m- many children were not hit because instead their parents were told that they were to talk to them at length,
Yes.
just incessantly. And then eventually, like I had one of my nephews, 6 or 7, and my sister-in-law was explaining to him why he couldn't do something, why he shouldn't do something. Historically, it went into bullet points. I believe there were footnotes, and he was 6 or 7 years old, and he finally just looked at her. He said, "Fine, I won't do it." And I laughed so hard.
To just like like she pulls out a PowerPoint and like this is your exact
Right?
reason. There's Clippy in the corner, like, do you want it? There's like misspellings
I
in
know you want to know why you can't do this. Let me explain to you. Until he's
there.
like, I forgot what I wanted to do. Yeah. And
That's wonderful. I think that is a form of child abuse. It's just like giving them
right, right.
your work stories like that.
Right. You're just like, I don't know if I would prefer to get a swat on the butt. Excuse me. Because then it's over.
Or
So
my grandmother used to make me cut a switch.
cut your own switch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That ain't right. That sounds like you're just like, I'm going to need you to be party to this.
They can't blame me if you brought the weapon.
Right, right. And you could, I remember my sister one time put a book down her pants so that she wouldn't get hit quite as hard.
That is such a good idea. If I could go back 20 years and tell myself that.
It turns out the adult who was patting her butt was my father, and
Mhm.
he knew that there was a book there. So he removed the book because he was an adult man. Anyway,
Smart.
so I remember it was the only time I ever got spanked after my mother passed away. My father remarried my stepmother, and my sister and I didn't understand the idea of curfews and coming home for dinner, and so we came home and we were both just filthy and late. And so we were to be spanked. And so Darla got my dad and I got Nancy, my stepmother.
Mhm.
And it was we were like put your arm into it. Anyway, so 'cause my mother was more of a hitter.
Yes,
So,
yes. As you mentioned that in the special, yeah,
yes.
that audience was just like so game to hear some more of your story. It's amazing.
Yeah, that was it was very flattering. It was yeah, it was 2 sold out shows, and then we took the best of the lot, and then I think I did one joke better the second show, so we just swapped it out. So that was all.
So that was minimal editing, it seems like.
Well, certainly none for me, but Nick Holmby and his team over
Mhm.
at Dude I Don't Know, they did some editing, and then Blonde Medicine is the audio label. You get a little more forgiveness on the album because you don't have to make sure that the shots match and
Yeah.
everything. So when the album comes out, feel free to watch the video and then listen to the album and see if you can see any differences. I'm not doing that. But if you have that kind of autism, please help yourself. So
Yeah, that's what that's what I appreciate about stand up is that there can be so many differences and we don't even notice an audience and then only we only notice if you bring them to the forefront like with who was it Neil Brennan did 3 mics
right, right,
and
right.
Chris Rock did his ones that one special where he like took like 10 cities and put them all into the same special. So
Oh,
it's
have Bamford telling jokes,
yes.
the same jokes in one of her last specials
Yeah.
at different venues, and then Zach Galifianakis. I think on one of his specials, all the outtakes were him telling the jokes when they didn't work.
Oh wow.
The outtakes were just him just eating it. Same joke, different crowd, didn't care.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I wish, I think about this whenever I talk to comedy minded folks, is that with all this turning towards TikTok and Instagram and doing short videos and the like, it's now it's fascinating to see that comedy there's still like freshness in comedy with the people who came up in comedy like you and Maria and Zach who are able to just do something different and not be annoying about it and like just be funny because like you're out there all the time doing stand up and then and Maria did jokes in front of her parents and just for them and I just think that it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's her the fact that there's an old video of Maria called Plan B. I think you
Mhm.
could get the DVD, and you have to get the DVD because I think it's on Amazon streaming. But the DVD has DVD commentary, and it's Maria's parents talking over the hour, the Plan B hour.
Yeah.
And she shot it in Australia in the early, like 2005, maybe.
Uh,
And but it's her parents doing the DVD commentary over the video.
that's amazing.
It's
That's fantastic.
insane. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Plan B from Maria Bamford. You can find that on Amazon.com. Well, Jackie,
Funches.com. Yes.
ronfunches.com. Jackie, this has been great. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate it. And I'm excited for this, for everybody to see this new special and listen to the new album.
Thank you so much for having me on. This is awesome. I would love to meet you in the real times, in the real
Yes.
life.
Yes. Same here. All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you. Bye.
Take care.